Welcome to Alley Chats and SMG Microcon's Virtual Artist Alley. Today we've got with us Jaysin Osterkamp. Jaysin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man.
So, Jaysin, let's jump right into this. You're sitting at your table at an artist alley. Somebody walks up to you. You've got a few minutes here. Let's do it. Tell us about yourself.
My name's Jaysin Osterkamp, and I am a comic artist. I do slice of life and fun, more down-to-earth kind of stories. I do a webcomic right now called Half-Hearted Headache, and it started off as a personal journey kind of comic. I wanted to see if I could get myself to actually do a comic per day for a full year. I used to do newspaper comic strips. I used to do fun comic books, things like that when I was in college and before. But work takes over, and I wanted to see if I could actually dedicate a whole year to comic strips. So after I did the whole year of comic strips, I jumped into my narrative story. And that was a lot more information than you probably needed. So
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. So what is your background? What brought you to this point that you're doing this?
So I actually started off in film. Went to school for film, went into filmmaking, everything else. But I believe that nothing in the artistic world correlates with film as much as comics. And I think they go back and forth so readily and so creatively and so vividly that when I do a comic, I think like I'm making a film. So I think about all the camera angles and aesthetics and things like that. So I bring everything I've ever known about film into my comics, and then vice versa when I go back to work on film.
Yeah, cool. So tell us about your comic. I think Half-Hearted Headache is the one that we want to talk about, right?
It's definitely I've done graphic novels, I've done short stories, but Half-Hearted Headache is the one that I continuously do.
So give us the background on that, like, or the thumbnail sketch of what Half-Hearted Headache is.
Essentially, the comic is a coming-of-age story with adults. Usually when you have coming-of-age stories, it's that heartwarming feeling of someone's coming into their own, but I kind of flipped that on its head, and I said, well, what about these people who thought they were on the right track for their whole life, and then they get into their 20s and 30s and go, crap, this is not what I want to do, and there's a whole other world out there that I want to experience. So it follows all these characters in the town of Elgin who are coming into their own later in life.
Yeah, I hope they end up at the Blue Box Cafe at some point.
So I want to talk to you about that at some point.
Well, actually, that's where we first met, because the SMG Microcons up till now have really been hosted at the Blue Box. Now we've moved into a virtual space thanks to everything that's going on. But hey, man, if your characters are in Elgin, why wouldn't they go there, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's hands down the coolest place in Elgin to go to in the real world. Why not have it in the virtual as well?
That's right, man. So, okay. The whole idea of this show, you are at your dream con. Who are you most excited to meet? So
I actually thought about this. I've thought about this my whole life as, I always think about those big names like Scotty Young that I would love to sit down next to and, chit chat. But what I find most invigorating about cons is the artist alley and finding those people that I've never heard of, finding the books that I've never even considered looking at online that are not published by the big names, that are self-published, that people are putting their blood, sweat, and tears into these comics. And I think that is the most invigorating thing about any kind of comic book convention. And I will go out of my way to buy these books. Even if the book does not look like something I would normally buy, I will absolutely pick it up for multitudes of reasons. But I want an entire comic convention just of indie, self-published comic artists, or in authors and creators in general. But having those unique stories that I would have never have found online or any other place is riveting to me. So that would be my dream con.
So there's not a specific person. It's, although you mentioned Scotty Young, it would be just some really like indie person that's really pumping it out there. That would do it for you.
Absolutely. I love more cartoony kind of styles rather than like the realistic style. And I think Scotty Young brings a lot of that flair and energy. Like the first time I ever saw him was the reality show comics of the New Mutants, New Warriors. And it was fantastic. I love the really kind of straight lines and the beauty of it. But what really gets me excited is finding a book I've never heard of before in an art style that I've never seen. And I'll go out of my way for those every time.
Yeah, man, I'm with you on that. That's one of the reasons we're doing this show. Expose people to this stuff, and hopefully it'll get people excited. They'll go out and like check out their books, buy their stuff, really get people excited about indie comics and creativity.
Absolutely.
So are there any other products or projects that you're involved with right now?
Projects, yeah. I think as a creative, it's very hard to keep a creative on a one-track mind. So I'm constantly doing other things. We just wrapped a giant video education series about wedding planning, which took about a year of my life to do, and it's free online. So if you're planning a wedding or know someone, awesome, check it out. You can find it on my YouTube page. The show is called Vendors. And not only is there a video series, but then we have our entire conversations in podcast form at Podbean Vendors. I'll gift you a link.
Very cool.
I am in the pre-production stages of a feature film right now. We just finished the script about a cop who uses magic and brings his dead partner's zombie head back from the dead to fight evil and demons. And hopefully we're going to shoot that in Elgin. So I'm super stoked about that.
I know a couple actors that would love to be in that. So if you're looking for people,
I absolutely will be. Before we reach out to any like good actors, i.e. the people that you are familiar with, we want to get funding first because we do want to be able to pay people. So hopefully,
sure,
not just pizza.
Sure. We can talk about that offline too.
Yeah, absolutely. Other than that, I'm starting work on a new graphic novel here pretty soon. I don't want to give too much away because we're going to try and pitch it to a big company. But we want to get the whole thing done first. And even if it doesn't pitch out, we're still going to give it to everyone on our Patreon. So
cool. So you do have a Patreon. You're going to have to, we'll put that link in the show notes, but also, how does your Patreon work?
So how our Patreon works is it's a monthly, if you're familiar with Kickstarter, it's essentially the exact same thing, only instead of a one-time payment, it's a monthly payment. And there are different tiers you can select where $1 can be a thank you from us, and we give you a shout out on Instagram or Twitter, and then on our webpage. $5 allows you to all the behind the scenes stuff. And when I have questionnaires once a month, I'm like, oh, what should this person do in this situation? And then I take the polls from everyone, and that actually goes into the story. But to me,
very cool.
To me, it gets really cool at like the third level. Because when you're at the third level, you're in the comic once a month. You're a background character in the story.
Cool. That's like film funding. A lot of indie films will do that same kind of thing. That's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's really fun because the people who have been on there for like 2 or 3 years now are actually characters in the story. Like they have backstory, and I'm leading a few of those characters up to big parts of the story. So the longer you're on, the more you're a part of it. So it gets fun.
So during this time here, are you taking commissions online?
Oh, absolutely. So I have my normal business as well that I'm doing, but I love art so much and I can't stop making art. I love doing commissions. Most of my commissions are digital based, but I also do like sketch covers. So I buy the blank covers and I do drawings on them. Most of the time people will give me a suggestion like, do this. But I love it when people are just like, take this element and then do whatever you want with it. And usually I charge a lot less for those because they're a lot more fun and engaging.
And people can do this with you virtually right now, right?
Absolutely. So just because I do these doesn't mean that's the only way I do them. I love doing digital art, and that's a super simple, zero contact way of doing art right now is reach out to me, tell me the commission you want me to do. I will do it digitally and I'll send it back to you digitally. Never even touching hands, so you don't have to wash that extra time.
Nice. So where can people check out your work?
So you can check out my work on Instagram is probably the best way at halfheartedheadache. This is how old I am. I have to put .com at the end of everything. Instagram at halfheartedheadache or Facebook at halfheartedheadache, or reach out to me on Gmail at halfheartedheadache@gmail.com. Otherwise, I post to the comic sites that the comic is on, like Webtoons, Tapas, The Duck, and my own website, halfheartedheadache.com.
And for all of those, they look up Jaysin Osterkamp?
You definitely can, or you can just look up Half-Hearted Headache, because I'm super happy that my combination of words, Half-Hearted Headache, you will only find me. So happy with that SEO. But yeah, you can look up my name, you can look up the comic site, and there'll be tons of pages about it. Or you can follow these links where Rob is putting them, wherever he's putting them.
Yeah, in the show notes. They will be there. And are there any other places, any other social media information that you want to give a shout out to? I know they're going to be in the links, but is there anything else? I don't know, like, do you have a Twitch channel? Do you do DeviantArt? Do you have Snapchat or TikTok? I see you as a big TikTok guy.
I'm not. I haven't got on it yet, and I'm wondering why I haven't, mostly because I'm really busy with work and I haven't had time to play around with it yet. But if I can give a shout out to so first off, my business, I do how-to videos on my business page, on my Night Owls Media YouTube page. I do like how to make films, how to like study editing, and how to shoot things in general. But I also kind of want to give a shout out, if it's okay, to like humane societies in your area. I think with the lack of people being out right now, I think they might be hurting a lot. I haven't heard anything specifically, but this is kind of like my go-to donation all the time. I always want to go out and help humane societies who are in need, because those animals need homes, and if people aren't out there giving them homes, they need help somehow. So consider donating to these animal shelters.
There you go. Thank you so much, Jaysin. This is awesome. Please, everybody, go check out his stuff, order commissions, keep Jaysin around, and check out his webcomic. Oh, wait, what's that?
I do shirts, too. I have a plethora of new shirts. And
cool.
I have.
Where do they find the shirts?
The shirt. I will give you a link because I have no idea what the URL is. It is a print-on-demand service that keeps it relatively cheap, and I don't take a lot off the top. Really, it's just to get the shirts and the brand out there. And then we also have employee shirts of one of the bars in the comic. It's an employee shirt of the characters. So we only have like 50 of those left, and those are actually in my basement right now that I would ship those out. But the print on demand, I think there's like 5 different versions of the shirts available right now.
Very cool. Again, Jaysin, thank you so much for your time, and I guess we'll see you in the alley.
Rob, thank you so much for doing this. I cannot wait till you guys start doing the microcons again. This is a fantastic idea. I look forward to more creatives.
Thanks, man.
You can find Alley Chats on Facebook by searching for @AlleyChats. You can also visit us at our webpage, smgpods.com/alleychats, for links to all our episodes and other cool stuff. One easy way to support our show is to rate and review Alley Chats wherever you listen to your podcasts. Those ratings really help us out and help others find our show as well. Alley Chats is produced and edited by Rob Southgate for Southgate Media Group. Be sure to subscribe to Alley Chats because you definitely don't want to miss an episode. Thanks again to our affiliate sponsors, Hunt-A-Killer and Tweaked Audio. Links to them are on our webpage and in the show notes. This wouldn't be possible without them. Our theme song is by Benny and the No Goods. Check out their awesome music at bennyandthenogoods.bandcamp.com. If you're an artist or writer or creative type that would have a table at an artist alley and would like to be on Alley Chats, message us through the Facebook page or email us directly at southgatemediagroup@gmail.com and we'll set up an interview. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with another fantastic show.